I think one of my favorite things about doing this social media thing is all of the rent-free apartments I have in mostly empty skulls around the country. Like, the number of people who hate my guts and live in my comments and on my pages is astounding. Like, Farmer Fran is still in my comments, if you remember that dipshit. And it is hard to keep track of them all because I've got a few of them and I have a life that they are mostly meaningless in unless I need, you know, easy content. So I almost missed this one when I got this private message of this, like, random person just being like, go away. Like, that's a weird message to randomly send somebody, but you know, there's lots of idiots on the internet and I was going to ignore it, but I was like, something seems familiar about that username. I was like, you know what? I made a video about this person for some reason, and I could not remember what the fuck it was, so I spent all morning trying to search for it and figure it out, and I found it there, Miss Megan Bunning Kit. It was a fucking year ago almost, October 1st, and I'm still in your head, darling. Get a fucking life. What is you doing, child? I haven't remembered you've existed since like October 5th. You clearly need some help in your sad, pathetic little life, but you know, you're not gonna get that from me. What you are gonna get from me is a repost of that video that's been living rent-free in your head for the past 10 months, so you know, enjoy. I'm no stranger to trolls and assholes in my comments. Every video has a few, and most of them are not very creative. Some of them are good, entertaining, so incredibly stupid they're worth sharing with all of you. And then some of them are so far out of left field in their fever of dreams that their baseball landed in Illinois. When I saw this comment, I thought it would forever top the charts of that category. I've been making content for well over 2 years now. Nobody's ever said I sounded Southern. Hell, I lived in the South for quite a few years. I went to college down there, and I've got like lots of close relationships with Southerners, and I've never had anybody say that I was trying to sound Southern. There was a stint there, like one of my best drinking buddies in college, hey Billy, he is without question the most Southern sounding guy I've ever met in my life. To this day, I still don't know half the shit he said to me every time we hung out. Like, it took me a full school year to figure out if he was saying hellfire or how far all the time. It was hellfire, but I had to ask. Him and I, we communicate mostly through beer, but when I was hanging out with him a lot, he rubbed off on me a tad, and I got just a little bit of this weird Minnesota, Jonesville, Virginia inflection mix that, yeah, I don't know. It was involuntary, I promise you. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but aside from that point, there's no time in my life I could imagine anybody mistaking my accent for anything other than Midwestern. It's even worse is she's from Minnesota. You gotta be drinking something a little bit stronger than root beer. So I was convinced this just has to be a follower fucking with me, so I went to her page, and it's like, nope, she's one of those people. And a little more irony to it, this Minnesota resident's most recent post is, "Don't Minnesota my USA." Like, bitch, you live by the Mayo. It doesn't work for you. You can't use it like that. That's not how that works. You've already been Minnesotan because you're in Minnesota. So if the rest of the country was Minnesotan, it wouldn't change anything for you because you're already in Minnesota. So now I was thoroughly convinced that this will be the most nonsensical attempt at an insult I am ever going to receive in my entire life. So I asked her a genuine question because I really wanted to know how much meth she had to smoke to hear Southern when I speak. Then I realized very quickly that I was far too overconfident that her first comment was the most nonsensical attempt at an insult I was ever going to get, because she told me I was speaking Ebonics and I should speak English. Yeah. Okay, first off, I need somebody with a little more melanin than me to tell me, is that racist? It feels like it could be. Maybe, I don't know, we are in uncharted territory with this one. Now back to Miss Free Spirit 75 here, who I can only assume chose that username because it's the answer to the question of how many drinks she has at an open bar. Honey, I don't know how to explain this to you. Just because my videos contain words that are slightly more advanced than the ones you don't understand when your third grade grandchildren ask for help with their vocabulary homework doesn't make what I'm saying not English. It definitely doesn't make it Ebonics. That is a hell of a long jump. Why didn't you try out for this year's Olympics team? You were a shoo-in. Anyway, Meg, I just wanted to make this video to say congratulations, because just when I thought that there was no way I could be surprised by nonsensical stupidity, you stupefied me. You win at losing at the internet, and probably life as a whole. But hey, we all gotta take our wins where we can get them, and this is truly impressive. I genuinely don't think anybody could have done this bad quite like you, so own it. It's a talent, I guess. Anyway, don't be a stranger. Y'all come back now, you hear? Fucking stupid. That was my attempt at a Southern accent. I don't think I did very well.